When you think of a country that has freedom of speech, that has human right for all, where do you think that country is? Or what area would that country be located? I guess you say America or Europe. And you are not wrong. They claim to be the champions of freedom of speech and human rights and democracy and liberty. All these fancy vocabularies. England is also a champion of all these fancy words. We are free. We are a nation of the people. We support free speech. Everyone is at liberty to speak their mind. That's what they say, right? That's what they say. But wait until you cross that line. Then you will understand if really there is such a thing as free speech in the West. Wait until you cross that line before you will really understand if there's anything as freedom or liberty. Wait until you cross that line before you will understand that the quote-unquote freedom of speech is a privilege, not a right. And as a privilege, it can be taken away from you any day, anytime. At least that's what some people in England are finding out now. So my brothers and sisters, to let you guys understand where I'm coming from with this, watch this video.
There's these dignitaries in these sort of ceremonial outfits. They proclaimed Charles to be our only rightful Lord and King. And I found that pretty hard to stomach. So I called out who elected him. The new head of state's being imposed without our consent. You know, we shouldn't be bowing down to him. And then security guard appeared, stood right in front of me, like nose to nose. And then the police interrupted, grabbed hold of me. They handcuffed me. They put me in the back of a police van. Said they were arresting me.
I went down to Parliament Square because I'd heard about protesters being arrested for expressing peaceful anti-monarchy sentiments, and I wanted to protest that issue of freedom of expression. So I went down with a blank A3 sheet, said nothing, and just stood there outside Parliament. And then I started walking around with it, and at that time a policeman came up to me.
You said you're going to write stuff on it that may offend people.
I said I was going to write "Not My King" on a sign, and you asked for my details.
It may offend someone.
Who's that going to offend?
And I said, you know, I actually would like to have "Not My King" written on this sign. Is that allowed? Will you arrest me if I write that? And he said, yeah, probably yes, because it's offensive and therefore against the Public Order Act. I couldn't risk getting arrested because I have to, you know, have a job to do today. I'm a barrister, I know the law, and I'm reasonably confident at talking to the police. Most people aren't, and just a police officer coming up to them and threatening them with arrest is enough to put them off. And that's why it's really important for the police to be careful about the way that they're policing things at the moment, and to really clarify that they do respect freedom of expression and free speech.
People who are exercising their free speech are being arrested by the police. People who feel that King Charles is not their king and are saying it as a sign of free speech are being arrested by the police or are being thrown by the police. Isn't England supposed to be a nation of the free? Is it England supposed to be a nation with human right and freedom and democracy and most of all free speech? Don't people in England have the right to exercise their free speech? Some of these things you would think that they only happen in African countries because Africans are quote-unquote barbarian. And Africans have no respect for human rights and freedom and democracy. In fact, Africans have no value, so the West says. But occasionally, you came across something that makes you wonder if all you've known about them is really true, or they have just selected what they want you to know and they have presented that to you. Why the things that they do not want you to know or hear about it have been hidden deeply inside. So when I saw this video, I was like, wow, wow, wow. The West arresting people for just speaking out. Yeah, I know the Queen was someone who served the people for 70 years and she deserved a befitting burial. She deserved to be mourned by those who love her. But that doesn't mean that those who do not share the same sentiment should be arrested. Those with alternative views should be stopped from speaking their minds. If you that claim to be a nation where people are free to exercise their human rights is now arresting people for doing the same thing you said they could do, how about those other countries that do not share the same view? Those countries that have made it very, very clear to its people what will happen to them if they speak out of line. And where does this end? So my brothers and sisters, share your thoughts with us. What do you think about what the West says and what they do? Is there a connection between what they say and what they do? Let us know in the comment section below. Because like always, we love hearing your takes. And also, the stories that you would like us to talk about on this show, send them to us through any of our social media platforms. Thank you very much for watching this video and see you in the next one.